Hey, you. It's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
It doesn't happen until approximately 200,000 years ago in the Epic of Atrahasis, where the story picks up that the Igigi, which were the working class Anunnaki, got tired of laboring on Mars and on Earth, doing a lot of the work almost as if they were being enslaved. And so they encircled their campus in Africa, in South Africa, actually, at a place called Adam's Calendar, which has been discovered to be one of the oldest gold mines on Earth that date back to when? 200,000 years ago. So they go to Adam's Calendar, they go to this campus that they're living in, they encircle it and they get ready to go to war against them. And so Enki has an idea to try to stop this war. He said, listen, I have an idea. There's an existing being on this planet. We can add our essence to it and we can get it to do the work for us. In another tablet, it kind of talks about, they even debated on fashioning beings, making people, in other words, cyborgs or robots or whatever. But in some other conversation, which a little bit of the stone is missing, it continues to kind of say, well, we tried this on our home planet and it was forbidden because it was like they can then take over. They can outnumber us and take over. We have no control. So they probably came into a situation with AI a long time ago. So they decided to take us, genetically modify us, disconnect some of our DNA, make it into quote unquote junk DNA, shrink our pineal glands, do some genetic modification and tinkering with the worship gene that we know for a fact has been added into the genome, and so forth. Splice gene number 2, put telomere caps on them, and make us into the worker beings for them. An agreement was made, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh, that was a lot of genetic science words, and I don't know what half of them mean, but I kind of get an idea that he's saying that's how the humans were designed to be submissive when they tinkered with their genetic makeup and stuff. And that's how we became the slaves looking for the gold. And he didn't mention it, but he has mentioned it before as far as this inherent desire to find gold was implanted into us as well by the Anunnaki to help save their planet. As far as the Igigi is concerned, I did watch the Y Files. I love that guy. He relayed a translation that the Igigi were actually warring at one time with the Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki won. And then, henceforth, hundreds of thousands of years, the Igigi were the slaves to the Anunnaki. So it's just a little different. I know there's always going to be different translations based on who you talk to and who read what which way. So, but I just thought that was pretty neat. Excuse me while I pop in here a second. Thank you so much for joining me. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover, please let me know down in the comments below. If you're having a good time, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
God and the daughters of men, possibly implying a union between heavenly beings and humans. Described as heroes of old, men of renown, their true nature remains a topic of debate, with interpretations ranging from giants to powerful warriors. The intrigue deepens in the Book of Numbers, where the Nephilim are mentioned again, post-flood, leading to speculation about their survival. This second reference, coming after the Genesis flood narrative, has puzzled scholars and theologians. Were these post-flood Nephilim direct descendants of the pre-flood Nephilim, or was the term used metaphorically? The biblical text is enigmatic, offering no clear answers, thus fueling ongoing debate and fascination with these mysterious figures.
I'm particularly fond of the story where the Igigi and human women bred and created the Nephilim. And it kind of flows along the same lines if you look at it. It does make a bit of sense. The sons of gods and the mothers of man, right? Breeding to make these giants. I like it.
You are now literally beginning to experience the physical effects of your world splitting into multiple parallel reality versions of Earth. Literally, physically. The idea is you're going to see a lot more shakeups and breakups because you are disassembling the idea that you live in one reality and beginning to understand that no matter that you can still see a reality you don't prefer, it doesn't mean you're living in it. There are now what might euphemistically be referred to as glass walls beginning to appear between the different reality vibrations. So even though you may still be able to see a reality you don't prefer and people making choices you don't prefer, just because you can see them doesn't mean that what they're doing can reach you through that glass wall. These walls are filters now. They are beginning to exist as thickening energy. And less and less and less will you be able to receive or experience the effects of someone else's reality that is not vibrationally compatible with the reality you prefer. But you, by living the reality you prefer, because the others on the other side of the glass walls can still see you too, allows you to become a living example of other kinds of choices that they can also make should they decide to do so. So when you live in your passion, act on your passion to the best you can with no insistence, no assumption as to what that outcome is supposed to look like, you steer yourself more and more strongly in the direction of the reality you prefer, the version of Earth that you're shifting to. Because remember, you never change the Earth you're on. You change yourself, and in increments, you shift to other versions of coexisting Earths that are simply more and more reflective of the changes you're making within you.
I've seen a lot of videos about people talking about, oh, you're changing your Earth and you're going to be on a different planet. And they actually literally thought that the world was going to split into two different pieces and you're going to be on one or you're going to be on the other, depending on your heightened level of awareness or whatever. If you're like 5D or whatever, I don't know what it is. But ultimately, I think that was just like a seminar, like a self-empowerment seminar. Like, you can be better. You can change the way that you think. And that's way different than the ones that I've seen as far as the earth shifting apart and stuff. The other ones seemed a little more like it is actually physically happening. The world is splitting and you need to decide where you're going to be based on your energy vibrations. But this one was like, you can make better choices and show everybody else that you're making better choices. And just because those people out there don't make good choices doesn't mean it has to affect you. It's literally a self-empowerment seminar. I didn't feel any kind of vibration, did you?
Military remote viewer is given coordinates, but he doesn't know it's to Mars, 1 million years BC.
I didn't know it was a Mars target. And the first set of coordinates was 44.89 degrees, 9.55 degrees west. A great view of a pyramid form, sitting in a large depression. It's yellowish ochre colored. I get clouds, a severe storm, major geological trauma. Then I was asked to visit the site before the trauma. They said, go back before the trauma. They said all the dirt had disappeared. There were now smooth walls. Everything was flat, megalithic. Gee, is this a new pyramid? Did they discover a new pyramid? Because it's really large. Shadow of people, fragments, memory of people. They said, go back to when they were there. Large people, thin and tall, wearing strange clothes, skin tight, very tight, almost can't see them. This is the actual target based on the coordinates. That's the face everybody's always referring to on Mars. This is actually the depressed area. This is the pyramid. It's actually a double-layered pyramid. This is a second set of coordinates that I got. In a canyon looking up steep, high walls that go on forever. Very intricate, huge sections of smooth stone carved out, rabbit warren of huge corridors and rooms. I said the rooms were really large, and again I said something to them about this has got to be some new pyramids or something, because I don't remember ever seeing rooms this size in Giza or anywhere like that. That's a canyon, and that's the pyramid. Now what's really interesting about this particular pyramid, you notice it's sitting on the side of the impact crater. And that's a real trick, because that means the pyramid had to be put there after the impact crater. Because if the impact crater hit after the pyramid was there, it would have destroyed the pyramid.
I've said this before. I do believe that there is a possibility that before we became inhabitants of this planet, there was a species on Mars that ended up migrating here and eventually evolving into what we are today. I know that kind of like interferes with my Anunnaki beliefs, but I'm not like, oh yeah, I believe in one thing, only one thing. There are multiple things that I feel as possible. And I think that's possible. I think a lot of things are possible. I'm not gonna go ahead and tie my heart to one specific a lifeline or one specific theory. I like them all. And I like how there's facts in a lot of them. And it makes me, feel like, okay, this is possible. Oh, I totally believe that. That's doable. I get it. Yeah, it can happen. So, yeah.
In 2005, a special event was recorded by geologists in Ethiopia, the appearance of a giant crack 50-kilometer long. This was the result of the splitting of a tectonic plate, marking the beginning of a process that could lead to Africa splitting into two continents, creating a new ocean between them. This means that some countries like Uganda, Burundi, Congo, Malawi, and Zambia could have the opportunity to develop new industries such as maritime transport and fishing thanks to the formation of new coastlines. However, some other countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, Somalia, and Mozambique need to prepare a specific plan for their countries to be on a new continent, no longer belonging to Africa. Imagine, if your house was in the middle of the split plate, your house would be divided in half, you and your spouse would be separated, each on a different continent, and every time you wanted to see each other, you would have to cross the ocean. How difficult would that be? But anyway, don't worry, because the expansion rate of this crack is only about 7 millimeters per year, so it could take at least 10 million years to form a complete new ocean.
I love the doom and gloom of this one. Imagine you and your partner are in your house and the house gets split, but it's moving this far per year. You can't figure something out between now and then. Maybe it's time to let them go. But seriously, 10 million years, it's going to be a very, very long time before it splits off. I mean, you look at all of the rest of the plate tectonics and what they're doing and how slowly it is. It's not going to be like, oh, tomorrow we need to do some maritime planning. No, you're fine. It's going to be fine. We got plenty of time. This next one is a little more scientific, and I think it's cool. So I want to share it with you.
Yep, this terrifying situation is happening right now to our planet, and all life as we know it in 2024 will drastically change. Citizens of Africa were terrified after it was documented that the continent of Africa is splitting into two, and has seemingly happened overnight. The terrifying long split starts from Kenya, is 35 miles long and miles deep, causing not only a new continent but a brand new ocean to have formed, with the effects of the split entirely to change the entire ecosystem of our ocean, and even completely change the climate of that area, with people not knowing if this would be livable for anyone there or if it would destroy the population there, as the rift already caused one man's home to literally be ripped in half. Scientists are extremely concerned over other continents being split too, as they think Africa's split is caused by the built-up pressure from rising magma resulting in the explosive event. Many fear this would cause irreversible damage to the habitats in the ocean, and others fear if this could change ocean travel. This is that squirrel from Ice Age's fault.
I was wrong. That one wasn't more scientific at all. That was just as silly. Oh my goodness. It's happening right now. Everything is changing right this second. Your house split in half. It's going to be on 2 different continents. Just freaking relax. It's okay. We got time. There's time. This is happening. This. It's okay. Or I'm not freaking out because California is supposed to fall off into the ocean. I got time. I can figure it out. It's going to be fine. It's not going to happen in our lifetime. So we're good. Just don't build any more houses in that area.
Yes, you can leave your body and experience higher dimensions. Here's how. The best time to do this is during the daytime, and to start, prop your head up under a couple pillows and lay down with your arms and legs spread apart. You don't want anything touching. Then you're going to take slow, deep breaths until you feel your energy body. You're trying to keep your physical body asleep while you keep your mind and energy body awake. After about 20 to 30 minutes of stillness, you'll start to feel tingling. This is the vibration phase. Once you feel intense vibrations throughout your body or you hear a loud ringing noise, you are ready to project your energy outward. At this stage, you have to pull your awareness up. I like to visualize a rope through the center of my body pulling me upwards. You can also visualize lifting your hand or foot up without actually moving your physical body. If you fear and are ready for this experience, you will pop out of your physical body. Just know that this is a very intense experience, and when I first did this, I felt like I was dying. And before you do this, you should be 100% mentally stable and grounded. Also important that you properly bless your space before doing this. Also, I've been experimenting with different frequencies and I found the best frequency that will work for anyone and allow them to astral project. And since we're all the same divine energy operating through different bodies, I'm giving away this frequency for completely free to everyone who follows me on Instagram.
Has anybody ever actually done that? Seriously, I seriously want to know if any of you have ever actually done that. And what happened? How did it work? Personally, I think that if I laid there for more than 5 minutes, I'd just fall asleep. And I guess you're supposed to focus on not falling asleep. But I have one of those things like when I lay down and I get myself into a position where I'm going to sleep, I go to sleep. So I want to know if you've ever done that. How did it turn out? And what was it like?
Every day there should be different stars, random stars in the sky if we are traveling at 650 million miles an hour, which is Mach 870,000. Do you really believe that every year we move through space at 5.5 trillion miles every year? And yet every year the same stars keep turning over our Earth. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, year after year after year. And yet none of those constellations distort, change shape, get brighter. There has never been, in recorded history, we have never seen any star get brighter or dimmer or any shape of those constellations which are still recognizable today as they were thousands of years ago. They never suffer any parallax or distortion.
Polaris has never moved in all of recorded history. Point your camera up at Polaris and do a time lapse and watch God's perfect timepiece spin above you.
And we move 5,694,000,000 miles through space every year. Congratulations to you if you believe that. It's called education, indoctrination, and dumbing down.
I completely agree with education, indoctrination, and dumbing down, but I don't agree with what he said. I do find it fascinating, but the Earth moving through space and all of the crap around it, it's just one of those things that I can't make sense inside of my head. Like, there's a few things that I can't click it. It doesn't work. Like daylight savings time. I don't know the sun's going to come up earlier and stay up later, or it's going to come up later, and I can never figure it out. So I can't figure out that whole science, the Earth spinning and everything also going all at the same time. It doesn't click in my head. But I know for a fact the Earth's not flat. And that's what he was trying to push there, is a whole flat Earth theory. And no, there are indoctrination and dumbing down of other things in our school system, but I don't think that's one of them. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, because everybody's allowed to have their opinion. And I like to hear facts about why you feel this way. That's always fun. I love intellectual conversation, and I love a good argument. So feel free. On that note, I'm going to let you go for today. I really appreciate you hanging out. Thank you so much for your time. And come back tomorrow because I'm going to make a new video, and it's going to be a good one. I hope. We'll see. Have a wonderful day.